when the bonding is very strong, that means the melting point and the boiling point also will be higher. Solid metal is getting converted to metal ion in the aqueous state. That is called as electrode potential. Only copper in +2 state, it has got the value which is positive value, and generally what is there, it is less and less negative as we move along the period. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 4 on the chapter D and F block elements. Last class we studied about the oxidation states, the magnetic property and the catalytic property. Also we learnt about the formation of colored complexes or colored compounds by D block elements, etc. in the last class. Today we shall study about melting and boiling point and also about the standard electrode potential. The melting point of D block elements are quite high. Why exactly the melting point as well as the boiling point are high? That is because in the metallic bond, we know that the electrons are the ones which is making the bond more stronger. So in D block elements, if you see, along with the ns electron, the n-1 d orbital electrons are also involved in metallic bonding, and thus the interatomic metallic bonding is very strong because the number of electrons involved is much higher, due to which when the bonding is very strong, that means the melting point and the boiling point also will be higher. So in any row, the melting point of the metal rises to maximum till D5 except for anomalous behavior or values of manganese and technetium, where there is a fall, okay, which you can observe here. See, from titanium, vanadium, chromium you have, then manganese there is sudden fall in the melting point, then again there is an increase for iron, cobalt, nickel and then copper. Okay. Similarly, you can see in the 4D transition series also, technetium, it is decreasing and then there is a regular increase and then again there is a decrease. So up to D5, the melting point increases. Suddenly for manganese and technetium, it decreases and then again it will increase and then it will decrease. So this is the trend which is observed for melting point as well as the boiling point of the D block elements. Next, we are going to learn about the standard electrode potential. Now, what is the meaning of standard electrode potential? The electrode potential is the total enthalpy change that happens when a solid metal is getting converted to the metal ion in the aqueous state. So what is the total enthalpy change which is happening when a solid metal is getting converted to metal ion in the aqueous state? That is called as electrode potential. And what is the importance of electrode potential? See, lower the standard electrode potential, more stable is the oxidation state of the metal ion in the aqueous state. So which oxidation state of the metal is stable in the aqueous state, you will understand if you just look into their standard electrode potential. Lower the value of the standard electrode potential, higher is the stability of that particular oxidation state in aqueous medium. So how do we calculate? You can understand by looking into this. Metal in the solid state is first converted into metal into gaseous state. So from solid state to gaseous state, the change we call it as sublimation, and the enthalpy change is called as delta H sublimation or enthalpy of sublimation, or it is also called as enthalpy of atomization, where you are getting converted into single gaseous atom there. Okay. So next you get the metal in the gaseous form. From that you are going to remove an electron, and that enthalpy or the energy required, we call it as ionization enthalpy or ionization energy, and delta H of ionization we call it as delta H ionization. Now we have got the metal in the gaseous state, the respective oxidation state, and then you are getting converted into the aqueous state, that is you are mixing it into water, correct? So you will get the metal ion in the aqueous medium. So this, when you are mixing the gaseous state to aqueous state, the metal ion you are converting, that enthalpy is called as enthalpy of hydration. Okay. So if I put all of these together, I add sublimation, ionization and hydration enthalpies, that is the total enthalpy change which is happening, which tells us about the electrode potential, E naught value. Okay, electrode potential. Lower the electrode potential, higher is the stability of the oxidation state. Now, you might ask me, ma'am, here only one ionization enthalpy is there. What if it is in the +2 state or the +3 state? Then you have to add up the ionization enthalpy, first ionization enthalpy, second ionization enthalpy, third ionization enthalpy, also if it is in +3 state. Here I have just taken an example with metal ion with one oxidation state or by losing of one electron. So it is a cyclic, or you can give it in this form, where first metal in the solid state is getting converted into metal in the gaseous state, then the metal in the gaseous state goes into the metal ion in the gaseous state, then the metal ion in the gaseous state you are getting hydrated and you get metal ion in the aqueous state. This three if you add together, you get the total enthalpy, that is from the metal in the solid state to metal ion in the aqueous state. It is the total enthalpy change. So this you will get if I add up 1, 2 and 3 values together. Okay. So this is when you are getting converted into the monovalent ion M plus state in the aqueous state. But if you are getting it converted into different ionic state, then you have to add up even the second ionization enthalpy, third ionization enthalpy, etc. depending on which state your metal ion is. So we'll see some of the values here. Lower the electrode potential, that is more negative the standard reduction potential of the electrode, more stable is the oxidation state of the transition metal ion in the aqueous state. You can see here element vanadium, you can see it is minus 1.18 for +2 state in volt, +3 state you can see it is minus 0.26. Okay, similarly you can see for chromium, manganese, iron you can see in +2 state it is minus 0.44, then cobalt, nickel, copper and zinc you can see there are only one value, their +3 state does not exist or it is not formed very easily. Okay, same way in this graph you can see here, see red color whatever is shown is the observed values and green is shown is the calculated values. Okay. You can see that the standard electrode potential for titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, there is a small change. Here it is shown like this, but if you see observed value and the calculated value, there is a little difference. Then you can see for iron, cobalt and nickel, and then you can see even zinc. There is a slight change in the calculated values and the observed values. Okay, where you can see calculated values is much negative than the observed values. Correct. Also, you can see that copper, all the other elements except copper have got a negative electrode potential. It has got the electrode potential as minus values. Only copper in +2 state it has got the value which is positive value. That is, you can see the E naught value for copper is positive, that is 0.34 volt. That is because of high value of atomization and low value of delta H hydration. For sublimation or for atomization, the value is very high, and for hydration, the value is very low, due to which it has got a positive value and thus it cannot displace hydrogen from dilute acids. Okay. So, greater amount of energy is required to convert from copper into copper +2 state. Only that is the reason, or that is the reason why Cu metal cannot displace hydrogen from dilute acids. So you can see due to the positive E naught value, copper does not liberate hydrogen gas from dilute acids, and also the general trend towards the less negative E naught value across the series is related to general increase in sum of first and the second ionization enthalpy. So +2 state andre I have to take up the first ionization enthalpy as well as the second ionization enthalpy to calculate the E naught value. And generally what is there? It is less and less negative as we move along the period. Okay, I shall show you the values, and it's also very interesting to note that nickel, zinc and all have more negative value than expected in the trend. Okay, here you can see some of the values. First you see they have given delta H atomization or sublimation, then first ionization enthalpy, second ionization enthalpy, then they have given the hydration enthalpy, then the E naught values are given for +2 state, because we have first and second, it is all for +2 state. Now if you see down the group, that is from titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, we have 3D transition series. Value of E naught, if you observe, it is first vanadium, it has got, sorry, titanium, it has got -1.63. As we come below, you can see the values are, it does not have an actual trend. You can see here, first it is decreasing, then sudden there is an increase when it comes to manganese. Okay, then again it is started decreasing. Again here it has got a positive value +0.34. But what you can see is, other than one or two exceptions, there is a decrease in the E naught value as we come down the group. Correct? Yes or no? The E naught value is decreasing as we come down the group, except for some of the exceptions which we can observe. Okay, so that's about the electrode potential. So electrode potential, if you see, what you can understand, lower the electrode potential value, higher is the stability of that oxidation state in aqueous medium. So you need to link the E naught value to the stability of the oxidation state of the metal in aqueous medium. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Next is about the oxides and oxo anions of the metals. Okay, so different oxides these metal ions can form because they have a variable oxidation state. So if you see the 3D transition series, they have different oxides, MO, M2O3, then you have M3O6, MO2, MO3, etc. Okay, and these metal oxides are formed when you are heating the metal with the oxygen to get the metal oxides. So different oxides are there, but what about the oxides? Whether it is a basic oxide, whether it's an amphoteric oxide, and or whether it's an acidic oxide, whether there is a link between the oxidation state and their acidic, basic or the neutral character, which we will learn here. You see the 3D transition series. First we will see scandium. Scandium will form only one oxide which is basic. Titanium can form two types of oxides which is basic, and one is amphoteric. Amphoteric means what? The oxide which can act as a base as well as an acid. Then we call that oxide as an amphoteric oxide. Okay. So chromium can form basic, amphoteric and acidic oxide. Manganese, you see, amphoteric and acidic oxide. It can also form basic oxide. I shall explain in further session. Okay, iron, basic oxide, Fe2O3 is amphoteric, Fe3O4 is basic. Here you can see cobalt, nickel and copper, they have only one basic oxides, but copper can form one more oxide which is amphoteric, that is CuO. Zinc also only amphoteric oxide, that is ZnO it will form. So what you can observe is, in general if we are telling, the lower oxidation state metals are all basics. Okay, the oxidation state of the metal, if it is highest oxidation state metal, they are all acidic. In between, intermediate oxidation state are amphoteric. For example, manganese is the one which shows different highest number of oxidation state, isn't it? So if you see +2 state, it is basic. After this it is amphoteric. +7 state, it is acidic. Thus Mn2O7 oxide dissolves in water to give an acid HMnO4. Okay, so in general what we can tell, of course there are some exceptions here. Okay, the lower oxidation states are basic, the higher oxidation states are acidic. In between, what you can see, they are amphoteric oxides. Okay, so that's about the oxides and oxoanions of the metals. Next class, we'll be going into the potassium dichromate. That is, how is potassium dichromate prepared and their properties we shall learn. Thank you, my dear children. I hope you have understood today's class. Stay tuned, stay focused.